Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Primetime News, where I am going to recap the wildest and craziest and most interesting and important news that happened in the world of reselling over this past week. So we are going to start things off with eBay stepping all over sneaker resellers by announcing this week that the free ride is over. As of January 19th, 2022, eBay will no longer waive the final value fee for sneakers over $100. That final value fee is going to go to 8% or 7% for basic and above store subscribers. Now, they will continue to waive the insertion fee for listings with a starting price over $100. Now, eBay does correctly point out that even with this change, they still will have the lowest fees in the game for authenticated sneakers. And I should point out, as an aside, that eBay did recently purchase the sneaker authentication company that they had been using. So that's a good sign. They are fully invested into this area. So as you can see here from this chart, the fees for their competitors for GOAT, StockX, and Stadium Goods are all higher for the final value fee, and eBay is not putting in a processing fee, 0%, whereas the competitors all have one. Now, if you were somebody who has been selling on eBay for a long time and had been selling sneakers as well, then this really isn't that big of a change. Things are really going back to how they, or close to how they had been before eBay put this promotion in 2 years ago. However, if you were somebody who was lured over to eBay with this promotion, let's say you were selling on GOAT or StockX, and then came over to eBay because of this, well, this is going to seem like a big change, and it is going to be a big fee to now absorb. In addition, if you were somebody who was selling on eBay but had not been selling sneakers and were lured into selling them based on this promotion, it's also going to seem like a change for you. So, how is this going to impact things in the future? I'll be curious to get your comments below. There was an interesting article here in eSeller 365 which talked about this, and one of the things that they pointed out is that while, yes, it is true that eBay still has the lowest fees, but as a result of them bringing that price to 8 or 7%, now GOAT, StockX, Stadium Goods, they're all in a much better position to run their own promotions against eBay to get their fees closer in alignment and maybe even lower. So what's going to happen down the road? Time is just going to tell what that. So we'll have to wait and see. What I would have preferred, although, obviously eBay can't keep running that promotion forever. It's just not sustainable in the long term. It would have been better if they would have incrementally increased it, like go up to 2%, then go up to 4%, then 6%, then go up to the 8%. I think that would have been easier. It's just a big shock to the system to go from 0 all the way from 8. It's always easy to go from 8 to 0. When you go from 0 to 8, that's tougher. So maybe that's something they could keep in mind for the future. By the way, if you are interested in getting into and learning about the areas of sneaker reselling and shoe reselling, I would highly suggest my friend Drew from the Profit Monsters YouTube channel. I've had him on my channel several times. You could see even in his latest video, he's holding up a pair of sneakers. He's got excellent videos on cleaning sneakers, and so go check him out. He's a great guy. Tell him Primetime sent you. All right, so moving on, another important eBay news this week. They completely got rid of the what they call in this article the popular image search function that you were able to use on the Android app and Apple. Well, I would dispute how popular it really was, because most people who I've talked to about it, and also my own experience, is that they felt that it was horrible. Now, let me know in the comments, was this image search function popular for you? If you're, did it give you good results? For me, most of the time, eBay couldn't find what it was that I took the picture of. So if you're not familiar with this, what you're able to do is take a picture of something like, let's say, this bell or whatever, and you take a picture of it, and then if you're having trouble finding comps, you didn't know the keywords, it was supposed to bring you something that matched it. The problem is it rarely really worked. Once in a while it did. There were occasional times, but overall it just didn't work well, especially compared to Google Lens. Now, if you are not using Google Lens, you are missing out. I will link to a video up top that I explained how to use this function. It is just a big time game changer. It's, in my opinion, the best reverse image search function out there. You take a picture of something, run it through Google Lens, and it will usually show you an exact match or a close match. And it helps out big time when you are sourcing. So, and if you've been using that and having success with it, let me know that in a comment as well. All right, now this is a first for our primetime news reporting. Actually, reporting on an article where yours truly, your host, was actually mentioned. I would be reporting on this article if I was not mentioned in it, but it has to do with the whole topic of eBay saying they have no idea why certain Facebook groups were removed that had to do with eBay. Now, I talked about this in my own Facebook group, the Facebook Reselling Resource Center, which is mentioned here by Anna Steiner in her article on e-commerce bites. As you can see here, my group does have the name eBay in it. And when I first heard about this, I wanted to get to the primary source and really find out exactly what happened from people who were in the know, because there were a lot of rumors going around. And the long and the short of it is it does seem like that there were two groups that had been removed that had the name eBay in their title, but one of them had to do with blocking buyers. So, problematic buyers, and that is against eBay policy. So if you have a group that's dedicated to that, I could see why eBay might get upset about that and want to do something in terms of a takedown. Again, all the details are not exactly clear right now, but that is one thing that did happen. Another group I know for sure from seeing screenshots, they were told something about an eBay trademark infringement, which again, eBay now here is claiming in their update that they actually sent out about this to people, that they really value the eBay community on Facebook, and that if your group was removed, if there was anything that happened, let us know. We're going to try to get it back. But what I had seen is that there were posts that had been removed and weren't visible anymore because of, again, something that supposedly had to do with trademark infringement. So proactively, what happened is that one or more groups started getting worried and just removed eBay from their group title. But I've never seen any official confirmation from eBay or from Facebook that they were removing groups because the word eBay was in the title. And that's what was talked about here in this article when Ina had mentioned me and was saying that, I run this group, and that I had said to the members in there that I was not going to take action until I verified the reports. So I'll keep people updated if there's any more information on that. But that was causing a big ripple on Christmas Day, especially Casey the Rockstar Flipper did a good video on it. So I would suggest checking that one out as well if you want to get some more information on it. But we'll see what happens in the future on this topic. As of now, my group title remains the same. And if you want to join the group, the link is in the description section. All right. Now, here's some interesting news. Also has to do with eBay, but it has to do with a good be on the lookout item. And this has to do with a rare error coin. This was a 2-pound coin. So this is a British coin. And you could see here that if actually, I'll go to the actual listing. Okay. This is an error coin that's sold for the equivalent of actually $200 because 1 pound is right now currently equal to $1.35 US dollars. So you could see here, this is actually, let me show you what one of these real coins would look like without an error. So you could see here, it's just nice and clear, nice and clean. The words wrap all the way around the coin. So you could get this currently for $6.50 if you want this 2 pound coin with Elizabeth II on it. But if you go over here, look at this. This is the error coin. So you could see how there's part of that gold looking trim missing from that bottom part, that bottom left. And so, what the person did is they just emphasized that there was an error on here and called it very rare, put it on auction starting at $1, 6 bids, and it sold for what this is the equivalent of 150 pounds, is about $200 plus $20 shipping on top of that. So go through your pocket change, folks. You never know what you might find in there. And if you find something that looks unusual, put it on eBay, say that it's rare or very rare, start the auctioning at $1, and you never know what might happen with it. There's a lot of people who find interesting things in their pocket change. All right, moving on to the next story. Speaking of things that are weird and crazy and unusual, there was a Cheeto that was put on sale on eBay for over 630,000 pounds on eBay because the person claimed that it looked like the Loch Ness monster. Now, I've talked about this topic on my YouTube channel before with Cheeto sales. Believe it or not, there have actually been some verified Cheeto sales and other type of food item sales for things that supposedly look like something famous, like the Virgin Mary's face looking like it's in a piece of toast or something like that. I mean, there's all sorts of weird things. Cheeto things have sold before, but for me, I always have a bag of crunchy Cheetos near me, and when I take, your average Cheeto out, I mean, look at this. They all kind of look like the Loch Ness monster to me. I mean, I think I just found a Loch Ness monster. So what do you think? Should I put it up for like $100,000 and see what happens? Now, keep in mind with this story, this is not any type of verified sale or anything like this. This is just something that someone put up and they said it's a collector item. Don't eat it, that kind of thing. So, who knows, what ever sometimes happens with some of these things. I doubt the vast majority of them really sell. I looked for this one on eBay. I don't see it anymore. So probably got pulled or something like that. But just kind of a funny story of the things some people put up on eBay. Let me try this Cheeto, by the way. Tastes kind of like maybe it tastes like the Loch Ness monster. It's a little salty. So I don't know. All right. Now, speaking of some good items to be on the lookout for, was a great article that came out this week in Pocket about old beer cans. Now, I come across old beer cans a lot when I go metal detecting. There's so many types of old beer cans out there that you could find, and you might be shocked to see right here. These are some sold. Okay, look at this. These are not one-offs of certain cans that will sell for thousands of dollars. I mean, look at that. That is absolutely insane. And those first ones up top, I mean, these are completed sales. So these are not me just looking for sold ones. This is just looking for completed sales. So a lot of these really high price ones, sales went through. There's a few here that didn't, but there's a ton of them that sold for, or a lot of them that sold for $1,000 or more. So also be on the lookout for that. They talk about in this article what they call canventions. So people get together and they trade their cans, and they, sometimes some of these conventions have, tons of members that come. There's associations about it. At one point, one group had 12,000 members. There's a guy here who they talk about in the article. Look at this right here. This guy has a collection of 89,000 cans. So that's his room right there. That is absolutely cool looking. If I had a room like this, I would have it with soda cans as opposed to beer cans, because I like soda better than beer. Now, one of the things they talk about in the article as well are beer crowns, and then buying lots of beer crowns on eBay, for example. But keep in mind that buying lots of beer crowns, you could get them really cheap and they don't sell for a lot of money. So you could see here, as opposed to the beer cans, lots of beer crowns don't sell for that much. I mean, once in a while you could do okay. Like here's 68 crowns from Mexico. So if they're from another country, you might do better for $60. But then, as you could see up top, we've got 3,500 USA, bottle cap crowns selling for $80. So, unless you found a way to get them for almost nothing, these are much tougher to flip than those old beer cans. This story has to do with a postal official. This is a postal manager sentenced to 10 years in prison for stealing packages filled with cocaine and fentanyl. Now, he also was stealing ones that have marijuana in it. In fact, that's how he claimed he started this whole thing. He was also ordered to pay over $100,000 in cash. Two vehicles were taken from him. Charges include conspiracy to possess controlled substances with the intent to distribute, money laundering, and stealing mail. The judge had said, "You seem to be too smart of a guy to engage in conduct like this." But, intelligence doesn't matter in these instances because once greed takes over, it supersedes intelligence in a lot of instances. I'd say the funniest quote from the article, although it's kind of sad, is the guy says, "I figured I could smoke and make money at the same time. That's when it started." No, 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 no. That might work if you're in rock and roll or if you're a rapper or something like that, but that is not going to work if you are a postal manager. Now, one of the other things that's interesting, if you go down to the very bottom of the article, it also discusses how, in one instance, this guy was taking a package that included baseball cards. And I know a lot of my friends in the reselling community who deal with collectibles. We rely on the post office to get these things to where we need to get them to, like grading companies and our customers and that sort of thing. So this kind of thing can't happen because we have to have trust that when we send that stuff off, that it's going to get there. And certainly we can't have postal officials who are stealing our items. So harsh sentence is definitely deserved in this instance. Let me know what you think about this type of stuff below. If you ever think that one of your items might have been stolen by a postal official, I'd be interested in hearing those stories. Now, this is an interesting reference story, which is important for those of us out there who are going out and sourcing things from places like Craigslist, even garage sales and stuff. How to tell if eBay, Amazon, and Facebook marketplace items are stolen. And this can apply for things that are listed on eBay because sometimes we do source stuff on eBay. And so there are several different things to look at that are mentioned in here. Now, any one of these things or any one of most of these things in isolation won't always be a dead giveaway, but especially when they're combined together, you really have to be suspicious. So number one is a bizarrely low price. So for example, something that normally costs $500 and someone's trying to sell it for 50 bucks or $35. Remember, you don't want to be in possession of stolen merchandise because if you are, the police can confiscate that from you and then you are just out. You are stuck. They are going to take that and they're not going to pay you the money that you paid to get the stuff. So another thing is what they call a sparse or suspicious listing. So one in which there's not a real description of the item, just something that's very brief with not a lot of details. If the description claims that the item was found, if it's a locked computer, tablet, or smartphone, and the seller claims they forgot the password. These are all red flags, although we could all think of instances in which this could be legitimate. So that's why I say any one of these things, not necessarily proof, but the more they happen together, the more suspicious you should be. An anonymous profile where there's no guarantee that the online sellers are who they say they are. That's a big red flag. Got to really be concerned about that with Craigslist, for example. If the person has a lack of or just not many ratings or feedback, that could be a problem. Although, again, you could always have a brand new seller who is legitimate. But another red flag is if there's no way to contact the seller at all. And especially if all these things are going on and then the seller is asking you for personal information, that is another red flag. But what I'm going to tell you would be definitely the biggest red flag of them all. Number one is if the person is asking you to make the purchase with any untraceable source, like a money wire, a cashier's check, they won't accept credit card, but even more suspicious would even be if they're asking you to pay in gift cards, especially if they're asking you to pay in eBay gift cards. Anything with gift cards, remember, gift cards are the currency of choice for scammers around the world. And people get caught up in those scams all the time. So particularly, I want you to make sure you inform your elderly relatives about this. especially with the gift cards, because they are the ones who are getting taken advantage of the most. Now, another thing I want you to be aware of, if you're looking to flip some of those items that you have around the house, maybe you don't want to take the time to list it on eBay or Facebook Marketplace. Did you know that you could just take it to some of the items? It depends on what you have, but you could take some of the things that you have to Amazon. You could take it to Target, or send it to, I should say, Apple, Walmart. There's lots of places, lots of stores that actually have these trade-in programs where you could bring things and they'll give you something back in return for it. So, for example, Walmart accepts cell phones, tablets, game consoles, voice speakers, laptops, and wearables through its trade-in programs. You just fill in a couple of things and answer a couple questions, and they'll give you a trade-in offer, and then you could send it back to them for free over FedEx, or they'll send you an e-gift card. So there's all sorts of interesting ways. So just check your preferred businesses that you like to go to and see if they have one of these trade-in programs. And the last thing I want to point out is there's a couple articles that came out this week about USPS really actually did a great job this year, especially the beginning of this fiscal year. They did a great job over the holidays with getting packages in on time. Approximately 90%, depending on what source you look at. There's an article on ABC and then an article on the Federal News Network. So that's pretty good. 90% of first class mail delivered on time. Now, that's an improvement compared to last year where it was 78.4%. Although, one thing to keep in mind is that they did increase the length of time that they consider as acceptable for first class packages to be there on time, like by a day or two. So it's easier now for them to meet the on time compared to last time. That being said, I did mention this to a lot of people in my Facebook group. Everyone who I've talked to so far, or mostly everyone, has said that this year was a much better experience. Last year, I was out doing videos all about the disaster. They were totally caught off guard and how they had to make improvements for next year. And they did. They did. How did they do that? They installed 112 new package sorting machines. They transitioned more than 60,000 pre-career employees to the rank of career employee. They hired 40,000 seasonal employees. They leased extra space as well at more than 100 locations since last year. So all of that has led to a big improvement. Same thing with FedEx and also with UPS. They were about 90% on time. So let's give them all a round of applause because they did do a good job. Now, let me know your experience in the comment section this year with USPS, FedEx, and UPS, if it was good or bad. I'd be interested to hear it. And lastly, before you go, I want to thank everybody for telling me last week when I did this program how much you enjoyed it and that you wanted to keep seeing it go on. So I am going to continue it throughout 2022. So look forward to this coming out every weekend. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, do me one favor, real important, because I really want to grow the channel in 2022. Just go and hit the subscribe button. Just subscribe to the channel. The more it grows, the more motivated I am to keep putting out hopefully what you consider is good content that you will enjoy going forward. So thanks everyone for that. And I look forward to seeing your comments and seeing you at the next video. Take care.